Well, good evening. As most of you know by now, I am Reverend Richard Steve Mitchell. I'm here at a different book list located right here, the south of Bloor, seven. What's the address here? I don't know, but everybody knows. Well, everybody knows the different book lists. We're here, Dr. Rotino, Runoko Rashidi, Runoko. I'm always having a problem pronouncing his name. That's okay. However, I'm here with the awesome lady of Karen Tomlinson, and we just finished the lecture over here in a lecture, I would say, our presentation by the doctor, and I just want Karen to just view our insight or opinion or understanding of what she had gathered here tonight from.
Well, I really enjoyed the lecture tonight by Runoko Rashidi on the African presence in Asia. I follow Runoko on Facebook. Every day he puts very inspirational stuff about African people. He's one of my favorite scholars. He preaches Black love, and he also teaches us that we were more than just slaves. A lot of us believe that our history began with slavery. However, Runoko teaches us that our history began before that, and he also teaches us that Black people are not only found in Africa, but they were all over the place, and they were all over the place even before Columbus. So I really enjoyed the lecture, and it was great seeing Runoko. I've seen him 3 years ago at the Afrocentric School, and I liked this environment. It was very cozy, and his slideshows with all the different Black people in India, with the untouchables people specifically. I like the fact that he's identifying them as Black, as I have always identified them as Black. And yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Well, this space is a little bit confined, but what I like about it is that if you don't put your knowledge and your information that you acquired over the years and our life experience, then our time here is of naught. And basically, this is why, again, I just love being this bookstore. So many individuals has poured themselves into these on these pages.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure if you did acquire a book tonight. So
unfortunately, I didn't get a book today. I'm so disappointed with that, but I do plan on ordering Runoko's book for sure. I'm looking at the different titles here. I see one book here that my sister here has a chapter in. It's the Jamaican Canadian experience in Canada, and there's some other books here that I would also like to get. But specifically, I would really like to get a few of Runoko's book, because I believe that we should be spending our money in our community, and if we're going to be buying these books, we should be buying it from our community members, not from Chapters or Indigo or those other larger stores.
well, it's definitely good to invest in our own community, and so that we can be a tight knit, a nuclear. What do you call it? I call it a nucleus. I always refer it to as the atom. As you know, the atom, Adam in the scripture was basically it means the first secular nucleus, the first atom. That's right, atom. And so I would like to ask you, what have you been doing with your time, and how are you uplifting the community at this point in time?
Well, at this point in time, I'm actually taking stock of what I have to give. Right now, I know that I have time and inspiration, and so that is what I'm offering to young people. I'm offering them my time and inspiration. Time in helping them with their homework, and specifically helping them with their college and university applications. So that's what I've been doing personally.
Which means you are?
Do you mean in my professional life, or I don't do that professionally. I just do that to uplift the community members. But professionally, it's very hard to. I guess I'm environmental something. I don't know.
Oh, so you basically make sure that we are in a healthy environment, that we could breathe properly.
Yes,
something like that.
A healthy social environment.
Okay.
That's what I look at. That's a field that I'm in.
So in your field, I think it would be a prerequisite also to analyze different communities?
It depends on which community I work with. Sometimes I work with youth, like young moms. Sometimes I work with, like, I guess, pregnant and parenting people. Sometimes I work with drug prevention. Sometimes I do HIV and
Okay.
Hep C work. So it depends
Right.
on what type of work I'm doing. Yeah, but it's always to create a better environment for the group that I'm working for. Yeah.
Well, it is definitely a privilege in communicating
What's your name
with
again?
Karen. My name is Richard Mitchell, Reverend
Okay.
Richard Steve Mitchell, and I'm
Okay.
hoping that you will get one of these. One
The
of my
show that will motivate you.
right.
You
So
see, I won't be able to get one of those today because I don't have any money today. But if you give me your card,
uh-huh.
I could keep in touch with you, and I could see.
Well, that will not be a problem. And I'm also hoping that you will tune in on Sundays on I'll Talk Coffee. Not
Okay.
the radio, because this is a different.
Okay.
So, well, it is good speaking to you, Karen,
speaking to you
and
too.
knowing that you have taken the time to come here, which means that you have a crave for more of who you are and who and what the community really represents, and
Definitely.
hope that and where the community will be directed.
Thank
Right.
you. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Okay then.
She's just left here.
Sure. Well, as we continue and interviewing another individual who basically
Just left to go home. So
had,
when I go home, I could
absorb
give her a shout.
the lecture or the presentation
Oh, you got
by
our
Dr.
house right now?
Runoko. And I'm just going to be inquiring of him what his opinion. I know he's a very cultural individual as well, an individual who is very
she,
informed and
oh, she
acquainted
was-
with
she
the
on her way
communities
home.
at different levels and a different
Yes.
experience. So I just wanted to just
left about
Curtis,
5
it
minutes
is.
ago.
That's right.
I just wanted to comment. I know when he was in the political arena, he was a liberal strong riding, and which was taken over by the conservative.
Yeah.
And now I'm not quite sure what he's doing, but I'm here to basically ask him questions about.
Is something you have to drop off for her, or something you have to?
The question? Oh.
The question is what
Or the practice?
Oh yeah, so well,
Oh, the
what just went by?
pan
Yeah,
stands,
and
the
it was an excellent night. You know, we had
Well, you could drop
some
it at the
good
neighbor.
good insight from the doc here.
Yes, the neighbor on
You
the.
know, it's always great to
8.
see
Yeah.
visual
You could knock on the
evidence
door and ask
of
us
the
to
black
keep it
presence or African presence in different places, whether that be in Asia, whether that be in Europe, wherever. And the amount of it is it's overwhelming because it shows you just how much we've been lied to through not only through this education system but education system throughout the world. I think the most prominent thing for me was seeing Dr. Rushdie spoke about a group from Turkey, Turkish women in a black Turkish population that I'd never heard of, and he mentioned that oftentimes these different populations have never heard of us either, and I thought that was very insightful because how many of these populations exist that we don't know of
Right.
that also don't know of us, so I thought it was pretty interesting.
So, not too far from here, we have what is called the Higher Learning Academy, which is run by some Jamaicans and some black members from the black community, who tries to empower those individuals in the goes up to high school and empower them spiritually, culturally, and also the regular curriculum that the Toronto School Board has, and now we have the Afrocentric school that is pretty much getting a little bit stronger in some opinion, are being more established. So, do you think that we need these extra independent or private schools, and or do you think the regular school board needs to be more culturally insightful when it comes to the Afro Caribbean African community? community?
I think
More.
I think the onus is on us to educate ourselves, and if you look at the Jewish community, like Dr. Rashidi mentioned as well, the Sikh community, the Muslim community, whatever the community is,
Right.
they take it upon themselves to go out and implement these things, right? There are forms of schools, there are forms of this, there are forms of that, their own bakeries, etc., right? But I also would definitely say it is the responsibility of the school system to actually teach things that they claim that they're teaching. So when they say, we do world history, it should be world history. And I should learn, in school, when I took world history, I learned nothing about China, one of the biggest populations on the planet.
Right.
Correction, the biggest population on the planet. I learned very little about India. Right? Didn't learn anything about Brazil. These are some of the biggest populations on the planet, and yet world history taught me nothing of them in my education system. So, but definitely the onus is on us, as a Black community, to do for ourselves and look introspectively, because when you wait on other people to do for you,
Okay.
they're not going to do it for you.
Do you not think we, as a Black community, then African Black community, do you think that we are at a disadvantage, differently from the Asian Muslim community, or the South Asian Muslim community, or the African Muslim? I shouldn't say African Muslim, because basically all of Africa was somewhat touched by European culture, and in the Caribbean, we were forced to gather little information that was passed on verbally or oral to us, and then we got individuals like the late great Louis Bennett and Roy Williams and so on, who through poetry and whatnot get us to keep somewhat of our Africanness in the curriculum, because as you know, the Caribbean, Jamaica, and other communities in the Caribbean was pretty much Europeanized as well. The school system is basically European history. We learn about one of the greatest crook or criminal, the pirate there, Henry, what's his name?
Hudson? Henry Hudson?
Yeah, and other pirates who are hailed as heroes when they were pretty much criminals, and still we have to embrace them as heroes, and those who basically quote unquote found the Caribbean.
Well, I mean, these people. Well, first off, they found nothing.
It already
because-
existed.
Exactly. My people were already here. So,
Right.
as far as other people are concerned, my ancestry is both native Loon, which is the east coast of Canada,
Right.
as well as the Black Africans that they brought over here. So I can tell you, just from family experience, they didn't find anything.
Right.
Well, where they came into other civilizations, they simply came and destroyed things. And for us to learn about these people as if they have found things or discovered things or accomplished something by making their way across and killing many people. It's a tragedy. I think at the end of the day, we have to understand the society for what it is and what it always has been from the very from its very inception. It was about killing and destroying the people who are already here, and
Divide and conquer.
and also destroying those from in foreign lands. Everywhere these people have gone, they've killed people. For us to expect them to now change over and be good guys and be on our side and start to educate us the way we need to be educated and do the things that we need of them is kind of crazy. So,
Well, I definitely just want to thank Curtis for his time. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to interview other individuals, but the individual who I have interviewed thus far is of a quality insight of what they gathered here, and we are ever evolving and learning. When I say evolving, new information is always bring us to a higher level of understanding of who we are as a people and how we have been robbed or cheated, or what I could use to the word that I like to use is we have been raped from our history. But there are individuals in the community who is still trying to restore the damage that has been done from all communities, I would say, not only from the black community, but also from the European community and others, which again we do appreciate. But again, we thank my friend here, Miguel from the different book lists for allowing this thing to happen and to have more individuals that will bring awareness to the community. And I would hope that these shelves will just be replenished many times over, not in the future to come, but in the near future. Again, I don't know if Miguel would want to say something. Well, here's Miguel anyhow.
Yes.
This is Miguel right here, and if Miguel could just basically say a few words of who he is.
Yeah, well, we are very happy to have had this event here this evening. Different book list has been hosting a number of events that try to bring speakers on various topics of interest to the community. We feel that that in many cases that books have been becoming so expensive that sometimes we have to find other ways to bring the knowledge of our people and our history and authors that reflect our experience to the wider population. So we have launched these series of talks and discussions and presentations in order to do that. So we thank all those who came here. We had a packed crowd, and it was a very stimulating presentation by Dr. Runoko Rashidi, and we were privileged to have him and make a presentation in which nobody had to pay for the event, but were able to enjoy his presentation. So thank you very much.
Well, you know what?
This
man is so modest. He's saying that no one paid. He paid dearly. Why? Because he put his time into it, and his year, and time is money, right? So
no. But it was generous of Dr. Rashidi to make the presentation without asking for any, fee. So that is what my point was, that we appreciated that he was so generous with his time. Thank
Most
you.
definitely.
And visit the different book lists at 746 Bathurst.
Well, this is not knowledge bookstore, but there's plenty of knowledge right here at different book lists. Where is he? There we go.